What is the absolute most ridiculous power trick you have ever witnessed completely backfire? I am a neighborhood homeowners association secretary, and last Tuesday I watched a 16-year-old girl absolutely dismantle our tyrannical HOA president in front of the entire neighborhood. Meet Chloe. She is a high school sophomore with zero fear and way too much free time. Our HOA president, Gary, is the kind of guy who measures your grass with a literal ruler. If your lawn is a quarter inch too high, you get a fine. If your trash can is left out for 5 extra minutes, you get a fine. So when Chloe's parents went out of town for the weekend, Gary decided to cite their property for violating the strict exterior aesthetics clause. Why? Because Chloe had placed exactly 42 neon pink plastic flamingos completely across their front yard. The monthly board meeting begins, and Gary is furious. He slams his wooden gavel down, pointing a shaky, angry finger directly at Chloe. The defendant, Gary, starts acting like this is the Supreme Court, has deliberately vandalized the sanctity of Oak Creek Estates with these fluorescent monstrosities. Chloe just casually leans back in her metal folding chair, pops a giant bubble with her chewing gum, and calmly raises her hand. Objection, she says completely deadpan. Gary's face turns the color of an overripe tomato. You cannot object, Chloe. This is a community board hearing, not an episode of Law and Order. Well, Gary, Chloe replies, not missing a single beat, you just called me the defendant, so I naturally assumed we were playing courtroom dress up today. Plus, your accusation is factually incorrect. I provided a complimentary pop art installation. The entire community center goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. Gary stammers. They are plastic birds. They violate Section 4, Paragraph 2, which strictly bans unapproved lawn ornaments. Chloe pulls out a crumpled, heavily highlighted copy of the HOA bylaws from 1998. Actually, Gary, Section 4, Paragraph 2, explicitly forbids, and I quote, ceramic gnomes, concrete gargoyles, and metallic windmills. It says nothing about polyvinyl chloride avian structures. Therefore, my flamingos are legally untouchable. Gary is visibly sweating now. He aggressively loosens his tie, trying to maintain control of the room. It falls under the general nuisance clause. They are a neighborhood distraction, Chloe. They are lowering our property values. Are they though? Chloe asks, tilting her head innocently. Because Brenda from down the street told me they brought her immense joy. Isn't that right, Brenda? Brenda, an 80-year-old woman sitting in the second row, enthusiastically gives 2 big thumbs up. They are fabulous, dear. Much better than Gary's dying rose bushes. Gary points a shaking finger at the woman. Brenda, you have been on thin ice since the unapproved wind chime incident of 2021. Do not test me. The room erupts into a mix of gasps and muffled laughter. Gary is practically vibrating with rage. That is beside the point. I am officially fining your family $500 and ordering the immediate removal of the birds. Chloe sighs deeply, like she is dealing with a misbehaving toddler. Gary, if you fine me, I am going to have to invoke the Historical Preservation Act. Gary blinks rapidly, completely thrown off. The what? The Oak Creek Estates Historical Preservation Act of 1985, Chloe explains, casually flipping a page in her binder. According to this outdated but still active bylaw, any resident can declare a lawn feature as a temporary historical exhibit for up to 90 days, provided it honors local wildlife. Flamos are birds. Birds fly over this neighborhood. Therefore, it is a tribute to our local migratory avian friends. There are no flamingos in Ohio, Gary screams, losing control. Global warming, Gary, Chloe shoots back. They are scouting new real estate, just like you scouted our driveway last week to measure the oil stains. Honestly, they are looking for a welcoming community, and your hostility is very anti-bird. Gary looks around the room, desperate for support, but the entire neighborhood is either smirking or recording him on their phones. This is total anarchy, Gary declares, throwing his hands up. Fine, keep the birds, but if I see one more plastic animal on that lawn, I am calling the city zoning commission. Chloe smiles, a sweet, innocent, terrifying smile. Good to know, Gary. I will cancel the order for the 23 inflatable hippos I had coming on Thursday. Gary drops his plastic clipboard. The meeting is immediately adjourned. Chloe